Good morning and welcome to our very first live, Facebook Live, Pillars of Success. My name is Earl Sparrow. I'm your host. We have a special guest in the house, Mr. Pastor, Associate Pastor. You got so many titles, guest host. If it's got gospel going on, he's somewhere behind the scenes, bringing several artists here to Fort Myers. He is not a native of Fort Myers, but he is definitely a pillar of success. Mr. James Cleveland Jones is in the house today, and his queen is here too. We might get her on camera a little later. This show is dedicated to our future pillars of success, the high school graduates that are going to be walking across that stage, our college graduates at FGCU, and all of these other many places that we have that are people are getting degrees from. This show is dedicated to you. We know you're going to blaze a trail for others to follow, and this show is dedicated to you. We're going to talk about a lot of fatherhood stuff and parenthood stuff. There's a lot of craziness going on. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
After a car accident, call me, Attorney Joe North. I am here for you and for your family. How do you go about getting good medical treatment? Who's going to pay for those medical bills? And what about money for your pain and suffering? And what about the lost wages? For more than 25 years, I have been helping clients with those same questions. For more than 25 years, families have trusted me with their accident cases. So after an accident, call me, Joe North. I am here for you.
Hello, I'm James Middlebrooks with the Community Press. I'm here to let you know that we have a community paper that is just going all around Fort Myers, Florida. I have 3 other people that are working with me, and that is Veronica Barber, Pablo Williams, and we call him Bodie, who is our circulation manager. We are working for you. We want you to know that this is the community paper for us. We want to put stories about what's happening, good stories about what's happening in our community. We want to do things on the local level, on the state level, on the national level, but we are sincerely about the local level. But we are so happy that we can report to you 28 pages of good stuff. We're reporting about the churches around this community. We're reporting about the community, about the fraternities and sororities. We're reporting about people who a lady just graduated from high school and she's 78 years old. I think that's remarkable. We are reporting about people who live the longest around here. We have a young lady who's 116 years and she's still around. We love what we are doing, and we are proud of giving you the report to you from the Community Press. Thank you and have a great day.
Happy New Year and welcome to Tax Care. We are located at 2227 Fowler Street in Fort Myers. Come see us and get your huge refund. Have you ever been somewhere and felt like you didn't get the refund you deserve?
Come see us.
Have you ever been somewhere and felt like they ripped you off?
Come see us.
Have you ever gone somewhere and gotten your taxes prepared and then gone back to get your refund and they had moved?
Come see us.
Come see us and get your huge refund. We are waiting on you.
Hablo en español.
The City of Fort Myers has supported new and early-stage businesses by providing a location and technical assistance to new business owners. Tenants also have access to free business consulting, professional receptionist office, free Wi-Fi, 2 conference rooms, a large training room, copier, and fax. Many new businesses now operating successfully have had their start at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. If you have a business idea, call 239-321-7085 and come join us.
Let me tell you, hey yo, hey yo, hey, nothing worse than to mess up.
Good morning and welcome back to CTV1's Pillars of Success. I'm your host, Earl Sparrow, W. Earl Sparrow Jr. If you want to know all of it and look me up. We have James Cleveland Jones in the house. How you doing, sir? Wonderful to have you, and I'm happy. I'm not proud, but I'm a little, put my chest out a little bit because you invited me on to your show, Times of Refreshing, a long time ago, and you gave me my first, I guess, local TV coverage. You had me sing on your show, and now you're on mine, so how about that?
I appreciate this opportunity, Earl. I tell you, man, I count it all joy that I can be here, and I love the fact that you're actually in the community doing what you're doing, making a difference, so thank you for having me on the show.
No problem, brother, no problem, no problem. I got to tell the people out there, man, you guys, when you guys got here, you guys hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
You guys had the Southwest Florida's Best?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Gospel's Best. Southwest Florida, it's Gospel's Best. That's exactly what it was. What it was, when we got here, we've always been into gospel music. I've loved gospel music, and I know that there's so many talented people. Wherever you go, black folk are some talented folk. I mean, we've been gifted, we're just anointed. And one of the desires of mine was to highlight some of that talent. So we decided we were going to do Southwest Florida's Gospel's Best, and it was just a phenomenal time. Anybody that had any kind of gospel talent, you know, singing, praise, dancing, whatever, they were able to come on the show and on the program we were doing at the time, and they could actually just display their gift. And we allowed the audience to decide who they thought had the most talent at the time. And it was so much fun. We had a great time doing that.
I remember because we were, I was in charge of music and sound and lights and all that stuff at the school. And I walked in there, I'm like, okay, how y'all doing, y'all? Nice to meet you, and kept going. And it was like, well, actually, that's the person that's going to do the sound and lights for you, so you need to go ahead and meet him. So I was like, oh, okay.
Gotcha, I do remember that.
You got a gospel show? Okay. I've only been here for 12 years.
Well, so you got to understand, I get a great point. You got to remember, though, I was still new in the area, and I was still learning everybody, you know, so I kind of let that one slide. That's my apologies on that one, you know.
No, but you don't know what you don't know, and that's why we bring people on the show so people can know who you are and what you're doing, and they can support you.
Exactly.
The show, you did 2 or 3 of them, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah. Well, and like I said, the first one we did, we had a nice participation. And one of the things that we've always tried to do was always take something to the next level. Yeah. You know, so we did the first year and had a good time with that. Then we came back and we did it again, had another great time with that, you know. And we're actually in the process because people are asking about it again. When are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? And because of our platform is a little different now, we have the opportunity to do it even on a grander scale. So that's something we're definitely going to be doing again soon.
Well, you know me. We've done a few projects together now. You bought, besides that, you bought some artists, local, some national artists here.
Absolutely, yes.
Including, you had the comedian a few weeks ago.
D. Lee.
D. Lee.
Yes.
I was trying to remember. I was like, I've seen him before somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him. He's given his life to the Lord, and he went there. We had a good time. He got on me because I'm always on my cell phone. But you on social media during my show? I'm like, oh Lord, here we go.
We had a great time with that. D. Lee, a lot of people don't know, but D. Lee, before he gave his life to the Lord, he had his own HBO thing he was doing, and HBO had him traveling around the world. He did HBO, he did Comic View, he was actually out there in the mainstream, had a name for himself and doing very well. But he had a run-in with the Lord and completely changed his life. And because he did that, he had the gift of laughter, making people laugh. And he didn't want to stop doing that, so he just switched it around, and now he's making people laugh all over the nation. Yeah. And it was a great time, man.
You're not supposed to stop dancing just because you change dance partners.
Say it, Earl. Say it, absolutely.
We don't do trap music, but we'll buck. We'll still get on the dance floor.
But like you said, we've had the opportunity to bring some national artists here. We brought Lisa Page here, and her husband. He's actually one of the founding members of the group Commission, and I'm sure anybody that knows anything about Commission with Fred Hammond and those guys, her husband, who's actually a bishop, was one of the founding members, and he literally wrote about 80% of the songs that Commission did during the time. So Michael Brooks, it was just amazing that he was here with us as well, you know, so we brought them on the show and they sang and, you know, they came to our church and did something as well. So it was a great time, man. And we've had, you know, of course, we've had a chance to interview some amazing people on the show. We've interviewed Ty Tribute. I've also interviewed Lily Nicole. She was on The X Factor. Also, Donna Allen, she was on The Voice, and people like that. And they want to come and be a part of what we do here. And that in itself says a lot. So we're really excited about the opportunities that we've had a chance to bring to the area.
And I had to thank you for this too. I was had my most embarrassing professional moment ever in my life. And those that were there, I don't care. I was on the stage, you in the audience, so you can be mad at me if you want to.
It happens to the
I
best
was up
of us.
there, Crystal Lake, and you brought Crystal Lake in here.
Yes, sure did.
And she had just won Sunday's
Yes,
Best
she sure did.
a year earlier or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my favorite. That was my girl the whole
That
time.
girl,
I was like,
right,
oh,
yes.
that's my dog, that's my dog, my
Right.
dog coming. And man, I don't know. Why I was on my feet for 36 hours, it seemed like.
Right.
And my mind just went blank. I'm like, how'd that song go? She went, da 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 da. Like, oh yeah, da 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 da. I was like, oh,
It happens
God.
to us, man. It happens to the
Oh,
best
Lord,
of
he
us,
ain't gonna ever let me come play for no
my-
national artist ever again. But it was a great time, and she ministered, and she was ministered too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
The spirit was really, really high in that place
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So tell me about how Times of Refreshing started as a
Absolutely.
radio show, because I know the
Gotcha.
TV show came out later. But
Right. Well, it was just an amazing situation. And I'm one of those people that believe that we all have a destiny, you know, and it's up to us to make sure we allow ourselves to walk into our destiny. And it had been spoken over my life years ago that I was going to minister to millions of people. As a matter of fact, when we first got here, well, my background is I did 21 years in the Air Force. And I retired from the Air Force in November, and we came here in December to Fort Myers. And
oh, that's a transition.
oh
Yeah,
my
buddy.
goodness, say that again.
Woo!
From we were actually over in Europe. We spent our last 8 years in Europe, 4 years in England and 4 years in Germany. And the plan we thought was to stay in Germany because we were offered a position, the GS-11 position, and we thought we were going to stay there, but it didn't work out that way. So we wound up putting our resume back out and wound up coming to Fort Myers. The option was to come to Fort Myers or to go to Miami, and we didn't want to be in Miami. We just wanted to be somewhere close because both of our parents live in Bradenton, and so Fort Myers was a little bit closer. So we came to Fort Myers, and we got a chance to get them things. When I got here, one of the first things I noticed, Earl, was that there was no gospel music on the airwaves, and having the opportunity to travel around the world, used to being able to turn on and find some gospel somewhere. Yeah. Even if it's just Sundays, you can turn on and get some gospel somewhere. But there was no gospel on the airwaves at all. And I was a member at Life Church at the time, and I was singing part of their worship team. And Paul Lodato, who's the manager there for the Christian Television Network, he and I was actually singing on the team together. And I asked Paul, I said, Paul, I know you do TV, but do you know anybody in radio that can play gospel music? And he said, no. He said, well, I don't know much about the radio area, but he said, I do know one guy that might give you an opportunity to have some gospel music played on the airwaves. I said, okay, give me his number. I'll call him because we need some gospel on the airwaves. So he gave me the guy's number. His name is Arnie Coons. He was the manager for 89.5, and that was the second largest gospel station here that covered all of Southwest Florida. Christian station.
Christian.
Yes, let me clarify that.
Contemporary.
Exactly. It was no black gospel.
Not gospel.
No. And I think a lot of people don't understand the difference with that. Where you got Christian stations on the air, yeah, but that's not something that you can relate to. It's, when you turn on something, you want to hear something that ministers to you. And that's what I often tell people. You want to be in a position that when you turn on that radio, you want to hear something that you can relate to. And those of us in Southwest Florida, we weren't getting that. So I went and I tried to meet this guy, and make a long story short, I tried to meet with him, and I couldn't get him on the phone. And I finally worked it out to meet with him on a Tuesday at 11:30. And I got there on that Tuesday, and I was sitting in the lobby, and he came out, and he said, so I hear you want to have some gospel music played on the radio. And I guess in his mind, he was thinking, what you think we're doing? We're playing Christian music. And he said, well, who do you mean? And I said, well, nobody is playing Yolanda Adams or Fred Hammond or, the Williams Brothers or Kurt Franklin.
And he said, who?
He's like, He said, you know, follow me in my office, James. So I followed him into his office, and he said, so what's on your heart? And I said, I just want somebody to play some gospel music. Give us a time frame that we'll know that when we turn on the station, some gospel is going to be played. And he sat there and he looked at me for a minute and he said, you know what, James, you're right. Nobody is playing that kind of music. He said, do you have any cards? And now, mind you, I had some cards with me, but I left them all in the car. So I said, well, let me run to my car and let me get my card. Now, that's a business no-no. We all know that. You should always be ready. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, I ran to the car. When I came back, he was standing by his door, and he had this look on his face. And he was like, you know what, James? You really are right. Can you come back and see me next Tuesday and bring me your resume? I said, bring you my resume? He said, bring me your resume. Now, mind you, I had never done radio before, but I'm one of those guys, if I see an opportunity opening, I'm going to walk in the door. So I came back the following Tuesday, and he said to me, okay, James, what do you have in your mind? What do you want? And I said, well, Arnie, I just want somebody to play some gospel music. And he said to me, well, how would you like your own radio show? And I said, excuse me? He said, how would you like your own radio show? And I said, well, I've never done radio before. I said, I've been on radio, but I've never done radio. He said, don't worry about it. I'll bring you in. I'll train you how to run the station. I'll train you how to run the boards. And then I'll give you your own show. I'm like, what?
That's God, man.
Man, I said, absolutely. So he brought me in. I would go down to the station every time I had some free time. And I would go there, and they taught me how to run the station, how to run the board. And he said, whenever you're ready, let me know, and we'll put you out there. He said, I'm going to give you Saturdays, and you just tell me what time you want to be on. And I was like, great. So finally, after a few months, they put me on, and on Saturdays, and started doing it, man, and it was just phenomenal. People were just calling in. Oh, this is awesome, you know. It was funny because some of the white people that were calling in, they were like, wow, this is really amazing. I've never heard this kind of music before. And it was just so good for them to just hear a different type of gospel. Correct. And it was just blessing them, and it was awesome. And we did this for 2 years. And it was just we were having a great time, great followings, people calling in and, you know, it was just an awesome time, Earl. Well, of course, life happens and the station got bought out. They were actually bought out by Way FM. And initially they called me on Monday and said, James, we've been bought out, but your show is doing so well, we're just going to let you continue to do what you're doing. I'm like, great, that sounds like an awesome, you know, because good, they like what I'm doing. Friday came, got another phone call. Well, we've got some disturbing news. The new management they don't want to do that format, so you can't come back. So we didn't get a chance to go on and tell the audience that we were leaving or anything. It was just we were there one Saturday. No. Next Saturday we were gone. So after that, about a month later, 1350, the AM station here, they were looking for someone as well to do some gospel. So we talked to them, and we came on Saturdays and started doing gospel with them on there. And we did that for about a year. And then they got foreclosed on. So I tell you, It was like no matter who's trying to do gospel, it was just, you know, something was happening. So I got a call from them on a Wednesday night. They called all the programmers in and they said, listen, let your people know this is your last weekend. After this, you can't be on anymore. Now, that was Wednesday. So I said, well, Lord, you opened up this door. I never asked to be on radio, but I've enjoyed this thoroughly for this last 3 or 4 years. So I've enjoyed this. You opened up the door. If it's intent for me to continue on, you'll make a way as well.
Well, we're gonna put pause right there. We got to pay some bills.
I understand.
Take care of these sponsors real quick. We love our sponsors. We want some more sponsors. You should be sponsoring this show. But we'll be right back with James Cleveland Jones and maybe the Queen Dia, make an appearance too. Stay tuned.
The City of Fort Myers has supported new and early-stage businesses by providing a location and technical assistance to new business owners. Tenants also have access to free business consulting, professional receptionist office, free Wi-Fi, 2 conference rooms, a large training room, copier, and fax. Many new businesses now operating successfully have had their start at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. If you have a business idea, call 239-321-7085 and come join us.
I was recently in an auto accident. Do I have a case?
If the accident was someone else's fault and you were injured, then yes, you have a case. As a matter of fact, even if you were partially at fault for the accident, you may still have a case. So give me a call.
Hi, my name is Janet, spokesperson for CTV Public Access. CTV Public Access was created and designed for you to showcase yourself, product, service, event, mini talk show, or spiritual sermon. We help you do that through video marketing. In fact, text and audio is becoming a thing of the past. And with social media, this has become much easier for you to post a video. Everyone can look professional. Marketing numbers say that people only retain about 10% of what they hear, 20% of what they read, and a whopping 70% of what they see and hear. You got it. Video is the only way to go. With CTV Public Access, we make access to professional cameras and lighting easier for you. So forget about buying expensive equipment and hiring staff to do your production. We have everything you need. And at only $25 for a 10-minute slot, you have nothing to lose. So let's get you started by contacting us at 239-400-1088. Leave name, number, and idea you have. We'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. CTV Public Access. Easier access to professional video production for everyone.
Hey, did you hear about churchgossip.net? Listen up. There's an exciting new place where you can get all the latest tea in church news. It's called churchgossip.net. At churchgossip.net, you'll find anything from outrageous pastor scandals to what your favorite gospel artist is up to, even a few opinion and inspirational pieces. You name it, churchgossip.net will have it. So come check us out. Tell a friend and a family member about churchgossip.net, and don't forget to like and share our page. Churchgossip.net, the #1 source for all your church tea.
Let me tell you, hey y'all, hey y'all, the words that you got someone tell you to grow up and give up on your dream. Hey y'all, so
All right, well, welcome back to CTV1's Pillars of Success. This is our first attempt at Facebook Living the show. Facebook Living.
That's all right. That's all right, Earl. You have the liberty to make up your own words, all right?
I'm gonna get that copywritten, so don't say I'm Facebook Living. Give me my credit when you do that, okay?
Wow.
Give me my propers.
Facebook Live.
That's right.
The Queen has arrived. Y'all know about the Queen
Yes.
B, Beyonce.
Come on.
We at Queen D.
Diva D.
Diva D. She made sure I put Diva D in front of
That's
it.
right.
Queen, I can't say double D. That's ain't that kind of party. Ain't this kind of show.
Right.
Get your mind out the gutter.
That's right. That's
Queen
right.
D is here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
She's been here doing her job PRing for her hub and her rib,
That's
her
right.
man.
That's the way you do it.
But welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You guys are pillars. You both came here and knew pretty much nobody,
Right,
but the people you interview with and your job or coworkers. And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the fact that I'm a transplant myself. I'm from St. Augustine, Florida.
Okay, uh-huh.
People say that I've been here for 15 years now. Oh, you from Fort Myers? No.
No.
We love Fort Myers.
Yes.
Right.
We've grown with Fort Myers.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's more growth that needs to happen here,
Yeah.
and we're here to help.
That's
Right.
exactly right, Earl.
Amen.
That's exactly right.
There's a difference
Yes.
between, I hate those people from
Yes.
New York. Oh man, Brooklyn is this, and New York got
Right.
this dog, and this and this and
But
this.
where are you
Oh,
now?
move
But
back
where
to
you
New
know?
York.
Thank
But-
you. Thank
right.
you.
Why
right.
you ain't up there?
And see, that's a good point, though, Earl. You make it when you come into a community. What are you bringing to that community? You know, it's not about what you can always get, but we as a group, we need to bring each one of our bring our own resources to this community
Right.
and help to build the community, take it to the next place. You know, we can all talk about where we came from, what we've done in the past, and how great some other place is. But what are we doing to make our community here great?
And right now, right now, we need people like you to be a part of the village. We need the village to come back.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise the kids.
It takes a
for
village
sure.
to raise kids,
I
and
agree.
we recently this week we had an incident where some of our kids,
Yes.
again, not their kids, some of our kids,
Right. Right.
because they're all of our kids. We grew up, and I'm 40.
Yeah.
Y'all a little bit ahead of me, just a little bit ahead of me. But if I was doing something wrong,
Come on, say it, Earl.
The
my
whole
behind
community
got
took
beat
you out.
by
Come on,
then.
say
it. Right.
Then my mom,
Yes.
my grandma beat me till my mom
Yes.
got home. Then my mom would
Absolutely.
spank me, and my dad
Yes.
looked if I was still awake or something like that. He probably wake
And
me up
Sister
and take
Sally
care
down
of me
the street
too.
got you too,
My
'cause
aunt
you was
said
in
it
the
was
wrong
just a
place. That's
line.
right.
Remember that movie,
yeah.
Airplane, when the
Right.
girl was freaking out?
Oh, yeah.
And they had a line of people with
That's
whips
right.
and
Right.
chains and.
That's the
and-
truth,
that's
though,
I'm
right.
not
Yeah.
saying physical abuse
Right.
or nothing
Right.
like that. To beat the kid till they dead and all that, but spare the rod, spoil the child, all that kind of
Absolutely.
stuff like
I'm
that.
with you.
People have their own interpretations of that, misinterpretations of that.
I agree totally.
Right.
So you think a shepherd didn't hit a sheep
What?
with that rod? He just said,
That's-
"Here,
no.
go this way." No,
Right.
no. But that's a
direction.
totally different story. We're not pushing child abuse, but
Right.
part of that village. How can you guys have raised two successful daughters?
Yes.
I have a preteen. She'll be 12 pretty soon, and I have a 5 and a 9-year-old. Excuse me.
Awesome.
So for those parents that have kids that are in high school or trying to transition and everything else
Right.
like that, what could you give them about how you got your kids up and out?
Yeah.
Well, one thing with us, we always told them, we raised them to be respectful to everyone, to always come, be able to come and talk to us about anything. It didn't matter what it was, you come and talk to mom and dad, because mom and dad are the ones that's taking care of you and will be there to help you now. And then we also told them to always tell the truth. No matter what it is, always tell the truth, because if you always tell the truth, then that means we can trust you. If you tell a lie, you have to tell another lie to get out that lie, and I'm not going to be able to trust you because I'm not going to believe anything you tell me. So if you always tell me the truth, it doesn't mean you're going to get in trouble every single time, but
You get in more trouble
when you tell a lie,
Absolutely, yeah.
because then
you lie about
yeah, and then there's consequences. Do you want good consequences or bad consequences? What do you want? Always have your integrity intact. Always be respectful to everyone. And they had to call everybody Miss or Miss, Mrs. or Mr. And it was ironic because they called my mom Miss Grandmother, and she thought that was like, oh my God, why are they calling me that? I said, because they've been taught, no matter who they are, you have to respect them no matter what. Even if you know you're right or if you think you're right, you let mom and dad handle that, because we're the grown-ups, you're the child. You're never going to be disrespectful to anyone that's older than you, or, the grown-ups or whatever. You're going to always be respectful no matter what, and let us handle that. Because if you let us handle it, it'll come out better. Because when you try to handle it yourself, you're going to say stuff you have no business saying, and you're going to get in trouble. So, and that's what we've tried to do with the two of them. And we've been never had to worry about them going to jail, getting in trouble, being on drugs, drinking, nothing.
There was a picture, there's a cartoon about a parent. And it has one half was 1960s and the other one said today. I don't know if y'all shaking your head, you've seen it. In the 1960s, the parents were on the side with the teacher pointing at the little kid,
That's
like,
right.
you need to do what you need to do. But now, and the little kid was like,
Exactly.
because the parents and the teachers were together.
Exactly.
But then
Right.
today on the other side, they showed the parents yelling at and the
You
kids
know.
smug like,
Exactly.
Right.
and then the teachers look like, because the
That's a
teachers,
major shift, you're right.
It
the
is a major
teachers
shift.
are the enemy.
Yeah.
My perfect angel never lied. My perfect angel never cheated.
Right.
A day in his life, my little child never skipped class. Something you doing wrong. I'll tell you this quick story.
Please
one
do.
of my students, when I taught at Dunbar High School, was falling asleep in my class. So I called his mom, and I said, your son is falling asleep in my class. I've been trying to handle it personally, but he tells me he's going to sleep at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So what can we do?
Right.
She said, if your class wasn't so blank boring, he wouldn't fall asleep in your class. I said, click. I just hung up.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm trying to partner with you
Right.
to enhance your
Your
child.
child, right.
And you saying it's my fault that your child will go to sleep at 3 or 4 in the morning, is fall asleep in my class and fail in my class right now.
Wow.
So do you think it's the fact now that parents and teachers are no longer partners, that they've just pushed it all over and you guys are supposed to be daycare providers, basically? I mean, is that the mindset you think that's shifted for so many parents?
The mind shift is, for me, as far as the village broke down, the village part, I'm going to do my part to help you educate your child.
Thank you.
I'm going to educate your
you.
child. As long as you get them to school dressed in, we'll feed them, we'll clothe, we'll do everything else to do it. You just get them here. So that just made parents think, you know, you got Jordans on.
Wow.
My job is done.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, what else did you, how do you get your kids to get out? I joke with my kids all the time. 18 or 19 graduation. See ya. You
Well, my
go to
oldest
college. You going?
my oldest is gone, but my youngest is back home. She went away for college and she came back. But our scenario is a little different. With us, for our kids, first and foremost, we had a relationship with our kids. And it wasn't about trying to be friends or anything.
Right.
They knew that we were the parents, but we still enjoyed our kids. We went to movies together, and even today, whenever something comes on, because we really love, you know, the Marvel type comics and that kind of stuff, you know. So even today, if there's a movie that comes out, our daughters will call us and say, let's go do this. I mean, because we built that relationship. Tuesday night was our movie night. We went to the movies on Tuesdays, and that was just part of what we did. So it was important for us to build a relationship. Now, mind you, they understood, yes, I have a relationship with my parents, but my parents are going to discipline me if I'm doing something wrong as well. See, I think one of the issues today is that parents are so concerned with being friends that they can't discipline their kids as well.
Boy,
you know,
let me pull an organ out, start backing you up. You preaching now, preach
and
up.
that's the truth, it really is. And our scenario was a little different again because, like I said, for their formal years, we grew up in a military environment. We were overseas, and in the military, respect was everything. In the schools, that picture you talked about where the teacher and the parent were together, a child knew that if you screwed up in the school, that not only were you going to get in trouble at the school, but your parent was going to come and handle it as well, because the parents understood that the kids couldn't be rowdy. They couldn't just do what they wanted to because it directly reflected back on them and their job scenario, whatever. So, but for us, we made it important for us, like Dee was saying, for us to talk to our kids, but we had that relationship. It was so important. I told my daughter when she was young, I said, listen, I want you to know you can come to me and say anything that you want to say. Because I didn't want my child, now mind you, I want you to hear this clearly. You can say anything you want to say to me, because if you got something going on, I need to know what your issues are. So if you got an issue and you got a problem, come to me and say what you want to say. But how you say it is the difference.
It's the difference, right.
Now, if I say something to you, if I tell you to do something and you got an issue with that, well, Dad, I don't think it's fair for you to do that. Talk to me about it. Let's talk about that. I don't think it's fair that I was on punishment because tell me what your mindset is. It doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind, but you know that you've got the option to tell me what's on your mind. And I've always tried to have that door open for my kids. They can come and they can talk to me as long as they've talked to me respectfully and with respect. They can tell me what they want to tell me. I ain't gonna change my mind about it 9 times out of 10, but they get that opportunity to come to us and talk about that kind of thing. So that was important for us as well.
But I think there's a problem too. Babies are having babies. You don't have those old grandmothers and stuff that you used to have. Like when we had the grandmothers, and them grandmothers got on you, and they would get you together. Like they would get the girls together and tell them how to be respectful of themselves and how to carry themselves and things like that. Well, if you got babies having babies, they don't know what they're doing. All they think, this is a baby doll that I have, and their grandparents are just as young as they are, so they don't know what to tell them. They don't know what to tell them to do, or
I think the issue is my mom, I love you. I know you're watching this, Sandra Sparrow. And my dad, I was a direct reflection of them.
That's right.
Right.
And my mama, we had that speech.
Right.
That speech isn't going around anymore.
Say it, Earl.
Right.
Don't you get in here and act the fool.
Right.
That's right.
Because I'm going to get you there.
No, finish it.
I will get you right where you get got when you
Yep.
when you cut up when you get cut up.
That's
We
right.
cut you up when you cut up. That speech isn't going on anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And besides that, the parents are too busy working 5 jobs, 3 or 4 jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
TV's
I think
raising
that's a
kids.
major issue.
That's a major.
They,
Yes.
they,
uh-huh.
they
Really
don't.
is.
Their aunts are spending time with them.
Yeah.
Their grandma's spending time
Right.
with them and everything else. Now there are a certain amount of parents that they're co-parenting their own children.
Right.
Right.
Because they got to go to Miami because it's Memorial Beach weekend and they got to go pop some bottles and all that kind of. There is a lot of that still. There's a lot of adults that just refuse to grow up.
That's
When I was a child,
Come on now.
Right.
I acted like
Acted
a child.
like a child.
I'm an adult. I can't go out
Put
every
aside childish
Thursday,
ways.
Friday,
Come on.
Saturday, and Sunday.
Right,
And still help
right,
my kids with
right.
their homework and all that
so
stuff.
true.
But that's
Yeah.
another reason the village should be in place. I know y'all found out, and I have to talk about. We got to bring you. We just got to do a fatherhood, parenthood. We got to go back to the basics.
Yes.
Yeah.
The basics that people got from church and from Deacon
Right.
Jones
Say
and
it, say
Mother
it.
Jackson and
Yes.
all that
Right.
stuff like that. Those places are gone now.
Yes.
So
Like I said, we don't have the elderly anymore because they're all gone, and you have the ones that are coming up now. The young grandparents, they don't know what to do. You know, if they weren't around when those grandparents were around, they don't have a clue. Because like you said, they're working
Nothing to
so
pour into
much.
people.
They don't have nothing to pour into
Exactly.
people, and I guess the couples that are in our group or in our age group, we're out there. But like you say, if you say something to the child, the parent gets offended, or they want to like jump on you or whatever.
Correct.
And we were always in the mindset: if you see mine doing it, get them. Come and tell me, and we gonna get them too. But they don't do that anymore. And it's like you said, it's always not my child. Well, you're not with your child 24/7. Only when they're at home, and you're not with them 24/7. You better watch who they're hanging around, because that group they're hanging around.
Hello.
Nope. Nope.
Well, let me ask you this, Earl. Since you were a former educator, where do you think there was a breakdown? I mean, because if you look over the last 30 years, it's been a steady decline. Where was the breakdown from what you and I are used to where we are now? What do you think?
I think, and I'm supposed to be asking y'all questions, but we doing it. But I know he's a host too, so he's co-host over here too, / producer. So we're just having a forum. We're having a forum conversation.
Absolutely.
Really, what happened, and we might have to do an extra segment. I don't know, bring you guys back on.
Sure.
What to me, once parents started once it started being cute. To have a baby, once children turned into living baby dolls,
Wow.
and women started dressing their kids like little adults, and like they all that stuff.
Right.
Once all that stuff started happening and started becoming cute,
Right.
then that stuff went out the window. People say, I'm not gonna raise my kids like my mom raised me. Well, listen. You still breathing?
Right.
Yeah.
Did it kill you?
That's-
Did it say,
say it,
did
Earl.
you die?
Right.
Say it, Earl.
No, you didn't.
Right.
It makes once we gotta, like they say, we gotta go back to the old time way.
Yeah.
And if the old time way, my mom said, I'm not your friend.
Right.
I'm not your buddy.
Say it.
Right.
My dad said, hey, I'll take you play basketball. We'll do what
Thank
we need
you.
to do.
But
But at the end of the
but-
day,
you understand.
But
I'm daddy.
this is my house.
Come on.
Right.
I'm in charge. None of these lights are in your name.
That's
right.
right.
You don't pay the first bill
Come on.
Right.
in here. I don't see you don't buy any groceries. You don't do nothing.
That's right.
And you got you 13. You got 5 more years
Right.
I'm counting
before we
down
start
with you.
charging you rent. But until
you're
we
right.
get back to raising our kids with respect.
Yeah.
My
That's
kids
so important.
say, "Sir, yes, sir."
Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
correct.
Ma'am,
That's
yes, ma'am,
correct.
to
Mhm.
everybody.
you.
They have to.
Say it again, Earl.
And you have to start with them when they're little ones. Don't wait until they turn 13 to start telling them that. My kids knew that when they were able to start talking, we would disciplining and everything then, and saying yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am,
That's
Mr.
right.
and Mrs. and start with them and disciplining them and letting them know that's wrong. Not like when they say something wrong, it's cute, ha ha ha. No, that's not funny. No, don't. And raise, start with them when they're little, and when they get older, then they know what to do. But if you start at 13, you've lost it because it's too late.
It's funny. Yeah. I took my daughters to my daughters went to a dance, father-daughter dance.
Yeah, we've done that too.
And I was just so proud because they were playing booty shaking music and stuff like that. They're like, my kids don't know how to do none of that stuff. They're like, some kids, my kids went to the school dance and stuff like that. They would be like,
right?
They don't know how to do all this stuff because we don't do that.
Right.
All the other kids, hit the quad. They like, well, I never heard that song, but I keep them away from. That's my job.
Thank you, Earl.
Right.
Chris Rock said, I got one job.
Yeah.
One
You
job.
had one job. You know what that job was?
Come on.
Keep my daughter off the pole.
Thank you.
That's my job.
Right.
Yes.
But we're gonna go back. We're gonna extend this one more. We're gonna do one more segment. So Facebook Live crew, I hope you're enjoying the show, and please share. CTV1 Pillars of Success. We got the Queen D, Diva D in the house, and James Cleveland Jones. Some Pillars of Success that are here. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Let me tell you, hey, y'all, hey.
Hi, my name is Janet, spokesperson for CTV Public Access. CTV Public Access was created and designed for you to showcase yourself, product, service, event, mini talk show, or spiritual sermon. We help you do that through video marketing. In fact, text and audio is becoming a thing of the past. And with social media, this has become much easier for you to post a video. Everyone can look professional. Marketing numbers say that people only retain about 10% of what they hear, 20% of what they read, and a whopping 70% of what they see and hear. You got it. Video is the only way to go. With CTV Public Access, we make access to professional cameras and lighting easier for you. So forget about buying expensive equipment and hiring staff to do your production. We have everything you need. And at only $25 for a 10-minute slot, you have nothing to lose. So let's get you started by contacting us at 239-400-1088. Leave name, number, and idea you have. We'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. CTV Public Access. Easier access to professional video production for everyone.
Hey, did you hear about churchgossip.net? Listen up. There's an exciting new place where you can get all the latest tea in church news. It's called churchgossip.net. At churchgossip.net, you'll find anything from outrageous pastor scandals to what your favorite gospel artist is up to, even a few opinion and inspirational pieces. You name it, churchgossip.net will have it. So come check us out. Tell a friend and a family member about churchgossip.net, and don't forget to like and share our page. Churchgossip.net, the #1 source for all your church tea.
Let me tell you, hey y'all, hey y'all. Ain't nothing worse than to have someone tell you to grow up and give up on your dream. Hey y'all, hey y'all. So
part of a game is overtime.
Right.
It was an exciting
Yes.
game so far. We could not let you guys out of this studio
Sounds
without going into overtime and talking about raising the village and getting back to
Right.
to basics.
Right.
Yes.
There's no boot camp experience per se
Right.
for kids and youth now.
Right.
Like the training in how to make your bed up, how to shine your shoes, how to do all that other kind of stuff like that.
Basic responsibilities.
But if grandma, great-grandma, and great-great-grandma didn't know, then I don't blame, I say it like this. I expect kids to be kids.
Right.
Right.
I don't expect adults to be kids. I don't expect adults to think kids pretending they're adults
Right.
is
Right.
cool either.
Right.
But let's can we touch on that a little bit about
Sure.
how we can talk about what's wrong here, and what they're doing wrong, what we're doing wrong. But how do we show the way? How do we?
Yeah. That's good, Earl.
Be an
You
example.
made a great point there. You know, you can't hold a child responsible for something they've never been taught.
Right.
So it's up to us, parents, and there again, the statement was made earlier. The people that you surround yourself around is a major. It plays a major part in how you live your life as well. Somebody said that you'll know where you're going in life by the 5 people you surround yourself around. And if you got yourself surrounded by somebody who's never doing anything, who never has a mind of progression, then guess what? You as an adult, you're probably going to be in that same boat. Every now and then somebody breaks away, but for the most part, the people that you hang around, your top 5 people, they have a major influence on your life. Well, when it comes to kids, it's the same process. If we don't teach them the basics, we don't teach them about being respectful. If all they see is that whenever you address somebody, every other word has to be a cuss word, then guess what? That becomes their norm. There was this time when parents used to say, do what I say, not what I do. But guess what? It doesn't work. They do what they see you do. And if every other word out of your mouth is a cuss word, then guess what's going to happen? Every other word out of their mouth is going to be a cuss word as well. So we have to be, and that's why when you said something earlier about people not understanding the responsibility that comes along with having a child, we have to understand that these kids emulate what they see us do. So when they see us acting a certain way, they see how we walk, how we talk, how we address people, how respectful we are, the things that are priorities to us, these things influence them as well. And I thought it was so great when you said your daughter's going to these dances and they have no clue about all this booty shaking stuff. You know why? Because that's not a priority in your household.
Right.
You've got them focusing on other things. This sponge, this brain that we have in our mind, it's amazing. It will absorb anything you allow it to absorb. You know what? What are we putting in there for it to absorb? If we keep saying that, you know, these kids are just bad. No, we got to take some responsibility as well. What are we teaching these kids? What examples are we giving these kids? What opportunities are we giving these kids so that and you know, before the show started, and I know I'm just rambling here a little bit now. Before the show started, we talked about the influence of the media, and every time you turn on the television, commercials, how it's sex, and even more sex. Now, when we grew up, yes, sex was out there, it was prevalent. Without sex, there wouldn't be us. But these kids nowadays are bombarded 24/7 with sex. So it takes somebody to step in there and step in the gap and to let these kids know, you know what? That's not what you're supposed to be doing right now, okay? Your focus is supposed to be on school. Your focus is supposed to be trying to, because you got to understand these years that you're going now are going to dictate the rest of your life. What you're doing now is going to decide how you live a comfortable life or not. And I tell my daughters that all the time. You know, in these formidable years of your life, what you do now makes a difference when you're my age or when you're older, because if you don't put the time in now, guess what? You're going to be that person struggling from paycheck to paycheck and not doing something. So you've got to take advantage of these times, but we've got to go in there and be that gap to let these kids know that it's not about all sex. You know, you were talking earlier about the situation that happened here a day or so ago, and that just breaks my heart, man. You know, and I know, and I think about, as a father with 2 daughters, if I was in a situation and I received that report that my daughter was involved with this and this happened, it would literally break my heart. Because I would feel like, as a father, I did something wrong. I missed something. I didn't, maybe I didn't teach her something, or maybe I didn't, I would take that personally as a father, because I've always had a wonderful relationship with my two daughters, you know, and even to this day, my oldest daughter, she's 27, she's in Texas. Whenever something's going on, she picks up the phone, Dad, talk to me, I need some advice. And that means the world to me, because she respects me enough to know that I can call my father, and he's not gonna just tell me what I wanna know, but he's gonna tell me what's the right thing, you know? So, but that, when I heard about the situation with the 15-year-old girl, the situation, it just really, it breaks me apart, you know? She doesn't realize that this is something that literally changes her life. It doesn't mean that her life is ended or whatever, but this has a major influence on the rest of her life.
And then for her to think that these guys are gonna like pay her any attention, all they're gonna do is they're gonna scandalize her name, they're gonna talk about her bad. I mean, you name it, it's gonna come at her, and because she's thinking, well, if I do this, I'm gonna be whatever. No. It's you know, it's again, it's about respecting yourself, carrying yourself in a certain way, and you know, you're gonna get who you're supposed to get if you do the things that you're supposed to do. Be respectful, have your integrity intact, don't lie. You know, just do what you're supposed to do. And there again, where are the parents? What in her mind made her think that this was okay? You know, that means either the parents not sitting there talking to her, but then again, you have peer pressure too. Peer pressure is a powerful thing, and like I said, if you don't have that that open communication, and you know, and like really into your children's lives and stuff, the people out there, the peer pressure is gonna get them. And we've all been young, we've all been there, done that, you know, but you know, we had those parents that were praying parents, and those parents that stayed on your butt. You know, either you're gonna do it or the consequences are gonna, or you're gonna, you know. And so, like I say, because you have these parents now that are working 50 million jobs, they're trying to do everything, or trying to be everywhere, do everything, and they're not home talking and raising the kids. I used to be a preschool teacher, and I taught the 3- and 4-year-olds, and their little minds absorb everything. And like I said, when you're having that young, that's when you teach them and show them how to set a table, and show them that you have to pray before you eat, and pray before you go to bed, and say yes ma'am and no ma'am, yes sir and no sir. That's when you have them, because their mind is absorbing, because they're looking at everything you do. There was an incident that came on Facebook. They sent a little girl. I think she couldn't have been no more than like 5 or 6 years old. Mind you, first of all, why are you taping this? This little girl cursed, and I mean, she supposedly had an attitude, and somebody made and she was going, and her head was going, and she cursed from A to Z. I don't even think she had was just a regular word. And they're laughing in the background, videotaping her saying this, and they put it all over Facebook. And I'm like, that's funny to you? No. And the reason, and she was saying stuff like, as if she was like 50-something years old, and I'm thinking, what in the world?
That reinforces to her that this is okay.
And it's okay, because you know why she's doing it, and she could say it like that, because you know what? She was right there when her mom or her dad or whoever she was around was doing all this and saying what she was saying, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, and I'm cringing while I'm watching this, and I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, I'm not gonna even share that. Why would I want to keep sending it around about this little girl, and you're sharing, and you're sitting there laughing while you're taping it?
And that little girl's gonna see that.
Yes.
Now, we don't have pictures and videos and all that stuff, our great-great-great-great-grandparents and all that stuff, but these kids are going to look at
Think about that.
Her grandchildren are going to see that video.
Say it.
Yes.
That's right.
We don't think about that, but we got to wrap this up, but I got to say, it's two things. Number one, parents, and I'm talking to this, talking to parents right now, please share our Snapchat don't belong on your kids' videos. There are phone applications. You need to go to and through that kid's phone daily.
That's right.
My daughter she'll be 12 in June. She doesn't even have an email address. It's some 10-year-olds that got Facebook accounts. That's on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have cell phones. I had to wait to get on my mama phone. I had to hope nobody was home and I could look at something that I would, if I wanted to hear a Richard Pryor tape or a Two Live Crew tape, I had to hope my homeboy tape was there, meet him at the thing behind the yard, in the backyard, when his grandma before, we had to creep. These kids don't got to creep.
Not at all.
Everything's right here.
Everything is on.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is right here for them.
World
and if
Wide
you
Web.
don't know how to, and then the other part about it, you didn't even know where these pornography,
Yeah.
porn sites, and
Right,
all that
right,
other kind of
right.
stuff is. They would block it. They had all these
Right.
other kind of things that are in place
Say it, Earl.
that in this day and age, and there are, I think I might have to just do a show about what's out there.
You need to.
There's a thing called X porn, I think it's called. It's X. It's for people that have pornography. It puts a block on it.
Okay.
So if a kid tries to download something nasty on their phone, it'll send an email to their parents.
Well, that's
The
something-
parents don't know about stuff like that.
See?
They need to know about that.
The kids don't know that. There are things that there are phone apps that look like a calculator, but when you put 1999 in it or something like that, then all these sex pictures and all this stuff will pop up.
Wow.
It won't go into their phone thing, but if parents don't know this stuff, you don't
Right,
know what you
right.
don't know.
Right.
Keyloggers is, I think that's what it's called. So there are so many things that are out there to help parents get control, but you don't know what you don't know.
Wow.
Correct.
And I think that's something that I'm going to take the leadership on
Very
with the
good.
village, because I
Very
do know that there are things out there that kids do, and they know that parents don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but if you don't, I was like, I told myself, my daughter wanted to get an iPhone. I mean, she wanted to get a cell phone. I'm like, no camera,
Good. Yeah.
and definitely no internet.
That's
You
what
can
I-
send and
that's
receive
what I
phone
said,
calls.
that's
That's
what I
all
said,
you need.
that's what I said.
I don't even say send. You can't even send. I'm gonna break the cell phone camera in case you get crazy in the bathroom or something like that. But being a parent, that's being a parent.
Thank
Right.
you.
That's being proactive.
Yes.
Right.
That's not no, I didn't know my
Yeah,
daughter would
exactly.
do something like that. How would my daughter be so stupid?
Yeah.
Your daughter didn't buy that phone and
No.
got all that stuff that can stream and
Right.
everything. You gave her that powerful technology and didn't have a clue on how to monitor her.
Exactly.
Again, kids are going to be kids. But,
Right.
That's
but
true.
as an adult,
We need to intercede.
you need to be proactive and
Say
say,
it.
don't you, I'm going to go through your phone.
Yeah.
Let me find some text in there crazy.
That's right.
I have everything else on there. Your phone is to call me and to call and to answer when I call.
Yes.
And they got
That's it.
high-tech phones. Why do you have a high-tech phone? Give them a flip phone. You can text out, and they text back in, but you have nothing else. And they had our kids had the ones that you had to put the money on. So you got $25. If you went through that $25, you don't
yeah.
get it until the next month. You know, so that was up to you. But they don't need the high-tech phones. Why? They're 10.
But the power those kids have
Yeah.
are given to their
Right.
Yeah.
kids from the adults that don't know
Yes.
how to whatever.
Right.
I agree.
But thank you guys. We're going to have to bring you on to talk about Times of Refreshing and some other shows you got coming on. That was just the Lord led us down that road.
Right.
Somebody needed to hear what we had to say, and
Yes.
hopefully
Yes.
they'll share it. I know you guys will share it. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you for having us.
Pillars of Success. This is epic show. Hopefully you can see this and share this with other people. Thank you guys for what you're doing and
Thank
what
you
you're
for
going to
having us
continue
on.
to do for all of us. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
your role in our community. Without pillars like you guys, everything will come crashing down. So that's our show for this week. Stay blessed. Be a blessing to somebody else. We will see you when we see you.
Don't worry. Any mistake